Tonight, opposition to the proposed site of a desalination plant near Port Lincoln continues to grow. And Moonta prepares to honour one of its most well-known citizens.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Opposition is growing to SA Water's proposed desalination site at Billy Lights Point. Regional Development Australia Eyre Peninsula joining the chorus of calls, asking for a change of location.
The future of the region's water supply is at a crossroads. SA Water's venue for a desalination plant aimed at solving the region's water woes facing opposition from local business groups.
The board absolutely supports a desalination facility in the region. We've campaigned for years to get one. However, the board opposes it being in the Bay areas.
RDA Eyre Peninsula urging SA Water to conduct a study into using different locations around the region. The board CEO says the region is anxious about its dwindling water supply, but also the environmental impact.
We've implored them to be studying other sites. However, it's pretty plain to see that there's an insufficient budget to be able to move outside the Bay areas.
Mr. Dorwood saying they are willing to help to find a solution that benefits everyone.
You know, informing SA Water continually, look, we are available to work with you to help you find an alternative solution to putting it in the Bay.
In a statement, SA Water says they acknowledge concerns of the RDA Eyre Peninsula. They will also continue to work with local industry through the planning process and are completing more than 20 scientific studies. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
There's been just a single new COVID case recorded in Broken Hill to 8 p.m. last night. That person is a household contact of a known case and is in isolation. Broken Hill and the unincorporated area has hit a major vaccine milestone, reaching 90% double dose in both the over 16 and over 12 age groups. And there's now restriction-free travel between all parts of New South Wales and Victoria. Residents outside the Broken Hill LGA will require a permit to cross the border. Councillors in Broken Hill have met in an extraordinary meeting, awarding a final tender before entering caretaker mode. It means progress can continue on delayed upgrades to create a sporting hub for the city.
An evening meeting behind closed doors, the current council making its final major decision.
I'm sure on the last council meeting night there'll be a few tears.
While there is another meeting later this month, council is now in caretaker mode. Last night's meeting awarding a tender worth more than $400,000 to design the E.P. O'Neill sporting precinct.
This is a project we've been working on for some time, so it's fitting that the council actually resolves and appoints the designer of the sporting precinct.
While we've seen plans in the past, it said these designs will be far more detailed and be used for a formal development application.
Because of the magnitude of the project, we're running a very thorough, tight process just to make sure that we end up giving the community a great facility at the end of it and we're not rushing the process.
It was back in February when 1.9 of the $3.2 million cost for Stage 1 was funded by the state government, council blaming COVID restrictions for delays in progress. The first stage will include resurfacing and lighting upgrades at the netball courts and lights installed at Norm Fox Oval.
We'll be aiming for shovels in the ground and construction sort of second quarter next year.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A major celebration is set to be held in Moonta at the weekend, commemorating 100 years of the Royal Australian Air Force. The RAAF has a special connection to the Copper Coast, which is known as the hometown of the father.
Honouring a Copper Coast hero.
We should be remembering people who have achieved so much.
Moonta will unite this weekend, celebrating 100 years of the Royal Australian Air Force and pay tribute to one of their own. Born in Moonta Mines, Sir Richard Williams was a first military pilot trained in Australia and commanded Australian and British units in World War I, also spending 13 years as the RAAF's first Chief of Staff.
He was one of the founding fathers of the Air Force here in South Australia, and He was born and bred here in Moonta, and we're really proud of that.
The centenary celebrations will begin at 10:30 on Sunday morning with a parade, followed by RAAF flypasts. Governor Francis Adamson will also unveil a bronze statue honouring the man known as the father of the Air Force.
We should be acknowledging our pioneers and acknowledging the hard work that went into his service to Australia.
The local mayor encouraging the community to join in the celebrations.
Hopefully the weather's kind to us and it'll be a real celebration. So yeah, I hope the community come down and support it.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, Copper Coast Council staff to receive high-tech safety technology, and Wyler's Christmas pageant once again going digital. Welcome back. Copper Coast Council compliance officers have a new addition to their work uniform. 3 body cameras have been obtained by Council. The Copper Coast Mayor says the technology helps ensure the safety of the officers and any persons they might interact with.
As these things become available, we like to be able to offer as much protection for our staff as we can. And if there's a dispute over the way that they've handled a situation, there is real evidence of how things were done.
The cameras will be used when the officers are in the community. The Wyler Show Society will look to bring the spirit of Christmas to the Steel City, confirming it will hold a carols night at Civic Park next month. In October, the Lions Club voted to postpone their event due to COVID restrictions. The Society and the Wyler Music Association are teaming up to fill the gap.
We want to do this for the children. Christmas is a very important time and it's a very uplifting time.
The Musicians Association likes to kind of bring different bands and groups together to see what we can do together for the community.
Stormfront Productions, which co-produces Carols in the Park, says they aren't associated with the event. And residents across the Steel City are now invited to submit videos for the second Wyler Digital Christmas Pageant. Council says it was not able to secure approval from SA Health to run a physical event this year.
Grab your cameras, it's time to get your festive cheer on for this year's Christmas pageant. For the second year in a row, the Wyler City Council will hold the iconic parade online.
We've decided to come and help out Apex, and rather than having no event for the community, we're helping by coordinating the digital pageant. So at least there's something that families can enjoy.
The council, which organises the events with Wyler's Apex Group, says last year's inaugural event received huge amounts of support. They're hoping this year's pageant will be the same. A physical event was not possible due to SA Health's COVID-19 restrictions.
The pageant's a bit different being a street party, so it's harder to control numbers, which is why it didn't get approved. So to be able to have some form of entertainment that they can enjoy is really important.
In a statement, Wyler Apex member Damien Trenwith says they are pleased the event is going ahead with the support from the council. Organisers asking anyone who has a float to wheel it out and film a video and help spread some much needed Christmas spirit.
Dust it off, get it out of the shed, get yourselves dressed up and film yourselves walking around with it, even if it's in your backyard.
To submit a video, visit Council's website. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, Rotary Port Augusta have confirmed their Christmas extravaganza will take place next month. With tickets made available from today, the event is already bringing Christmas cheer back to the city.
After a busy year, Port Augusta is ready to welcome the festive season. The Christmas extravaganza set to bring together all the seasonal events at Central Oval.
Doing a walk-around pageant on the Oval. There'll be Christmas carols, there'll be market stalls, there'll be food.
This free ticketed event allowing the much-loved pageant to proceed this year under SA Health's COVID requirements.
Normally we would hold our pageant down the main street, but with COVID restrictions we've had to come to a venue where we could have a ticketed event.
The Rotary Club and Council seizing the opportunity to also include all December events in the extravaganza. There will be visits from Santa and local carolling groups, along with Christmas craft stalls. Organisers hoping families embrace the unique event.
It's a fantastic feeling. It's a good time for the family, especially the kids. You know, it's what Christmas is all about. They always look forward to their pageant.
We feel for those other towns that have had to cancel, but we just hope to put on an event that people from the community can come and enjoy, and in a COVID-safe way.
Residents can get their tickets for the event from tonight up until they are all sold.
Tickets will be free, but food and drink obviously, and market stores you pay on the day.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. A Port Augusta Disability Support Service moves to a new location. And a Broken Hill soccer team kicking goals thanks to a grant. Hello again. The Wireless City Council has announced the dates for next year's Unearth Festival. The event, which coincides with the Adelaide Fringe, will be held from March 19 to 27. Artists and musicians from all across the Steel City and Australia will perform at the festival, which will be in its 4th year. More information can be found on the festival's Facebook page. The Flinders Rangers have cleaned up at the 2021 South Australian Tourism Awards, with multiple winners announced. The Outback region taking home 2 wins and 6 medals overall. The Pitchy Ritchie Railway winning the Tourist Attractions category, while Bendelby Rangers took out the Adventure Tourism category. The excitement will continue to build, with most category winners going on to represent South Australia at the National Tourism Awards. Orana's Port Augusta Community Options Service is moving to a larger, newly refurbished building. The new facilities enabling the disability service provider to expand the range of services and activities they offer.
Moving Orana close to the heart of the city. The organisation, which provides employment to people with disability, has opened their brand new centre on Marriott Street.
We've opened up this wonderful facility for people with disabilities so that they can become an inclusive part of our community.
The move to the new building enables clients to only be a short walk from places like the main street and the library, enabling them to be more present and active in the community.
We fell in love with the location and the position of the building, and also its character. It was a very, very nice building.
With the building being more than 100 years old, extensive remodelling was required to prepare the doorways and flooring for disability access.
Looks absolutely fantastic. I went for a walk through. It's got a very modern kitchen. I wouldn't mind having in my house. But it's very easy access, so disabled people with wheelchairs and so forth can get in and out pretty easy.
The centre also has a sensory room, large craft space and sheltered garden areas.
We had a program that was further out of town previously, which wasn't quite right for having people engaging with the community. So opening this centre right in the middle of Port Augusta has been brilliant.
The staff to provide that service, their kindness and what they put in every day to make these people happy and help them is amazing.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
One of Port Lincoln's oldest attractions has been given a much-needed refreshment. The Port Lincoln History Group teaming up with the Pioneers and Descendants Group to oversee an upgrade of the historic Mill Cottage.
Like many groups, the COVID pandemic proved a challenge for the Port Lincoln History Group and Mill Cottage.
When COVID first hit and the council shut the building completely, and we just needed to think of ways to make the museum usable still under COVID rules.
Both groups making the most of the closure, joining forces to undertake adjustments to the cottage. The change is allowing for a COVID-safe one-way flow through the building, which was built in 1866.
The visitor comments have been amazing, yeah.
3 rooms at the back of the cottage also renovated, giving visitors a snapshot of what people used to wear in the district. The museum's coordinator saying a new narration system will also improve the experience.
It gives them the opportunity to look at or to listen to the story for as long a time or as short a time as they choose.
Meanwhile, Settlers Cottage is now home to the Port Lincoln History Group.
Called that the Port Lincoln History Centre, and that's where we've got our research library, our digitising equipment.
Mr Mantle thanking everyone who contributed. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
With soccer semi-finals just a week away in Broken Hill, one team is training with almost $2,000 worth of new footballs. St Joe's saying the purchase wouldn't have been possible without a recent grant.
Kicking goals on and off the pitch. St Joe's Soccer Club sporting a fleet of new footballs.
They're a lot easier to kick and they're easier to pass with and stuff like that.
The club receiving $1,800 through Broken Hill City Council's Community Assistance Grants earlier this year. Chipping in some of their own cash, they were able to purchase 78 footballs in 3 different sizes for juniors through to A grade.
It's a huge difference for us. We're in the sense now that we won't have to factor this cost in for the next 2 or 3 years. Our kids will be using the latest and greatest equipment, which is always fantastic for them and for us.
Applications for the grants are accepted throughout the year, with funding given after cut-offs in April and October.
The community assistance grants are pretty easy to get and, just pick up the phone. Our council staff are here to support them.
A handy bonus ahead of semi-finals this time next week.
Now getting back out now, it's going to be beneficial for them coming into the final series, that they will be using them, and which are similar balls that they will use on the game day.
Lachlan Ittis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We will preview the weekend's local cricket action. And Alex Sykes will have the weekend weather details. Hello again. Time to go around the grounds and preview the weekend's local cricket action. With all the details, here's our experts with their tips.
Hello and welcome to Round 4 Cricket. Well, this round sees the top 2 sides in Southport and Props set to battle it out on Perry West Oval. Both teams have had a good start to the season and this game should be a ripper. I'm going to tip Southport. Over at Port Oval, we've got Port Germain taking on Wandera. Wandera are going with a big youth strategy and it's going to take a while for that to pay off, I reckon. I'm going to tip Port Germain.
G'day and welcome to round 3 of Port Augusta Cricket Tips. This week we see the grand final replay. Corn will take on Central Stirling in Corn. This should be a very good match. I'm sure Corn will be after a bit of revenge after last year's grand final. I'm going to lean towards Corn because, as I said, the game's going to be played in Corn. And the other match sees South Augusta take on West Augusta at Etzer. Westies are yet to win, and unfortunately I can't see them winning again this week. So my 2 winners are Corn and South Augusta.
Hello and welcome to round 3 of Wyler Cricket. In the first match of the round we see West Wyler take on North Wyler. West Wyler's young gun Trent Inglis had a ripper day out with the bat, and with the notable addition of Sam Frick they're going to be strong this week, but I still reckon I'm going to tip North Wyler. In the second game we see reigning premiers Centrals take on Rupina. After an interesting sprinkler debate, I think Central Wyler are going to take this one out.
Welcome to this week's Portlingon Cricket Tips. Southern Air and Tasmans are going to battle it out at Ravendale this weekend. Should be a really good game. Last year's 2 grand finalists. Tasman's got over the line in that one. I reckon it's going to be another Tasman's result here and they'll get over the line just in what should be a really good game of cricket. Next game of cricket is Charlton and Todd River. Charlton should be too strong here. Really good team on paper. Todd River will be looking to have a few players that played last week commit to the season, but Charlton should be too strong in this one. Thanks for listening to Portlingon Cricket Tips.
Broken Hill Cricket gets underway for season 2021-22 after a hiatus of about 3 weeks due to COVID. On Saturday, South take on North. North last year's premiers and looking for 5 in a row this season. I think they'll be the measuring stick again this season. In the Sunday game, Central take on West. This will be a very competitive game. I'm selecting Central to win this game, but there won't be much in it.
With the weekend now upon us, it's time to take a look at what's in store weather-wise across the region. Here's Alex Sykes with the details.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. It was a mainly fine day across the region today with warmer temperatures, but unfortunately we wet weather across the region over the weekend. More detail on that in just a moment. From 3 p.m. today, Port Augusta was mostly sunny and 34, Port Lincoln was 22, and Coffin Bay was partly cloudy and 28. Looking further out across the region now, Whyalla was 30, Broken Hill was sunny and 29, Port Pirie was 32, our friends in Adelaide got to 27, Woodner reached 34, Kadina and Cleve were 33, Clare was mostly sunny and 29, and Cooper Pedy had a late shower or two and was 35. Taking a look at the satellite image now, clear skies with high pressure over South Australia. Odd clouds over the northern areas with a weak trough are bringing no rain. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southeasterly to northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. Showers across the region tomorrow, as mentioned earlier. Showers easing in Port Lincoln 22, Cleve set to reach a high of 25. Woodner will get to 26 degrees. Possible storm in Whyalla and Port Augusta. Kadina showers easing set to reach a high of 25 degrees. Port Pirie possible storm and 28. Clare will be 25 and Broken Hill will have a shower or two and is set to reach 32 degrees. And on Sunday, those showers will continue for Cooper Pedy with 23 degrees. Cloudy in Port Lincoln, however, 18. Cloud clearing in Port Augusta, 24. Whyalla and Kadina partly cloudy, both 21. A look at next week, a shower or two and a possible storm in Cooper Pedy with 28 degrees. And showers across the region on Tuesday as well. That's all the news from me for tonight. I'll see you soon with an update. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news for tonight and the week. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back on Monday night at 7 p.m. Until then, on behalf of the team, enjoy your weekend. Good night.